We've heard the words remaster, HD collection, HD remake thrown around a lot over the past couple of years, but what the hell do they even mean? Hey guys, what is going on? This is NGS and welcome back to another episode of One Truth Prevails, the weekly web series where you guys submit questions for me to ramble on for 15 minutes. So this topic was submitted by a lot of people on the last One Truth Prevails episode, which you can check out right here, discussing cross-generational video games. Let's start off with what an HD remaster is. A remaster is when a developer goes and takes a pre-existing game that they've already done in the past and they make it presentable and playable for the modern age that they're releasing the game in. A great example of this is a franchise like Kingdom Hearts. This is Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix. It is a compilation of games that were released on the PlayStation 2 that have been given a fresh coat of paint for the 2013 release. With the more horsepower that is available in the PlayStation 3 compared to the PlayStation 2, this gave Square Enix the opportunity to bump the game's resolution all the way up to a smooth 1080p, in addition to going back and adding in a couple of tweaks that makes the original Kingdom Hearts 1 game, a game that was released in 2002, play more like its newer siblings. Kingdom Hearts 2, Birth by Sleep, and Dream Drop Distance, to name a few. More often than not, when developers are remastering a particular franchise that they know has a lot of public appeal, they put them out in collections. So these three collections are some of the most notable Sony mascots, from Kratos and God of War, Ratchet & Clank, and Sly Cooper. Like the Kingdom Hearts collection, they all received a nice coat of paint, presentable for the modern age, and they were released at a budget price of $40. So a lot of gamers, be it longtime fans of this series who want to play their favorite games once again, to new people, are able to experience this franchise at an easier entry point than the standard $60. Okay, so a lot of HD remasters are just HD collections, right? Wrong! There are some developers out there who don't really feel the need to go and release an entire franchise in the form of a collection. And in some cases, they just very well may remaster a game that was released a year ago. One of the best examples of this is The Last of Us Remastered. This game came out originally on the PlayStation 3 in summer of 2013, and it was re-released on the PlayStation 4 in summer of 2014. Now with the other collections that we were talking about, Last of Us received the same treatment. It got a bump up in resolution to 1080p and is running at a rock solid 60 frames per second. Of course, included are some of the features that most PS4 games are notable for, such as direct live streaming to Twitch, screenshotting to Facebook and Twitter. It's also a quasi Game of the Year collection because it comes with some of the post-game content that was released for the original Last of Us. But it's not just Sony doing them. A lot of developers have realized that there is a potential for their game to sell well on a newer generation of systems. Square Enix with Tomb Raider the Definitive Edition and Sleeping Dogs the Definitive Edition, and of course Rockstar's mega hit franchise Grand Theft Auto 5 just recently released on the 8th generation of consoles. Okay, Chris, now that we've covered what an HD remaster is and what an HD collection is, for the love of God, what is an HD remake? You want to know what a remake is? Well, ask Hollywood what they've been doing for the past 20 years. In all seriousness, a remake is essentially that. It's basically taking an idea, a concept, something that's already been done before, taking that main idea, starting from scratch, and building up that again for the newer age. Essentially, you're just making the game over again. But in a lot of cases, the game that you've started with is not necessarily the game that you end up with. Tales fans know exactly what I'm talking about with the release of Tales of Hearts R for the PlayStation Vita. Notice the R in the title. That R stands for Remake. This was a game that was originally released on the Nintendo DS in 2008, but with the release of the PlayStation Vita and the better hardware that came with it, Namco Bandai decided to remake the game for the platform. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, well, it's a handheld title, how much better can it get going from the DS to the Vita? This is a screenshot of Tales of Hearts for the DS. This is a screenshot of Tales of Hearts R for the PS Vita. And you can already see the differences. Tales of Hearts was a 2D Tales fighter, while Tales of Hearts R is full 3D. If anybody has played the console Tales games, this game falls right in line. From controlling, to combat, to the way you execute your special attacks, it feels like a console quality Tales game. You've got fully animated cutscenes, you've got 3D models, you can roam around the world, fully voiced cutscenes and skits. There is a lot in this game that differentiates it from the original version that released on the DS. But even though it's a remake, there are some developers out there who don't want to go out of their way to change what was originally established. Nintendo, with the release of The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, did just that. For the remake that came out on the Wii U in 2013, Nintendo pretty much took to the fan bases. They took to the masses and saw what exactly they liked about the Wind Waker and what were some of the things that they didn't like about Wind Waker. So while they kept the core of Wind Waker true, they didn't go out of their way to change a lot of the things for the modern market. They did listen to the fans and what were some of the things they were complaining about. Mainly, the difficulty has been upped for those who wanted more of a challenge out of the Wind Waker, which, let's be honest, Wind Waker is one of the easiest games in the franchise. In addition to streamlining one of the most irritating moments of the game, being the Triforce Exploration Quest. And a lot of these HD remakes you can find scattered throughout all the platforms. You can see a lot of great ones on the PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, Nintendo eShop, and Steam, to name a few. But now that we've discussed what are the differences between an HD remaster and an HD remake, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. No, not you, Dumbo. Is the market getting too saturated with all of these re-releases? Because that's what they are at the end of the day. They're games that released at one point, and now they're being released again. In some cases, not too far away from its original release. But we're not going to sit here and argue till we're blue in the face about whether or not these games are worth it. All I can say at the end of the day is that if it's something that you really want to play, something that you may have never played, or if you're a longtime fan of the franchise, go with your gut and support what you like to see. Likewise, if it's a game that you really have no interest in, if it's a franchise that you really didn't think needed a remake, especially since it was so soon after its original release, then do yourself a favor and save your money. That's all it is at the end of the day. That's all you can do to tell these companies what you want. Social media is a great avenue for people to go and get in touch with developers and publishers, but at the end of the day, they see how many units have been sold and how much money they rake in. So all the complaining that you see online, granted you can have an impact, but at the end of the day, if there are more people who are buying the game, come on, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand what they're going to do next. So we've come to the end of another episode of One Truth Prevails. Post your comments down below in the description and tell me what are some of your favorite HD remakes, remasters, re-releases, collections, and also let me know of a particular game or franchise that you wish got the same treatment as some of these other games. From me to you, for now, I'm Jess signing out, and like always, one truth prevails.